Welcome to Subramani. I'm going to answer 2-3 questions in this. One is, are our markets overvalued now? And do we really apply what we learn, or do we just read it, pat ourselves and pat the person who said it, and then go back to doing our own bad things? So let us go back to 1981 when Robert Shiller produced his book. It was such a good book that we gave him the Nobel Prize. Piece of art, as people would call it, on valuation, saying over a period of time your investing depends on the valuations at which you enter. So he called something called the CAPE, or the Shiller PE ratio, right? So he said there is something called the PE ratio at which you should invest. Of course, it's not as though he discovered the PE ratio, but the Shiller PE ratio or the CAPE ratio became the standard with which to see whether the market itself is overvalued. And like I said, we gave him the Nobel Prize. So he says now, even now, the fair value in the US for their for CAPE or the Shiller PE ratio should be 17. Currently, it is at 36, which means all the American portfolios are worth only half of what is visible, right? So it shows you that it is X amount. You should mentally be prepared that it is worth only half of X. So in India, if your portfolio is worth 1 crore, assuming the same ratio, mentally you have to accept that it is worth only 50 lakhs. Don't get carried away saying your portfolio is 1 crore, because one day the market will bring you to 1 crore, right? It happened in 2008, it happened in I think 2002 also. The market was doing nothing. 1992, 93 the market fell 40%. So these things do happen, and they stay there for a long period of time. So what happened in 1987 or to even 2008, the GFC crisis and all, the market fell. If the market had remained there for a very long period of time, we would have been hurt very badly. But the market recovered very quickly. Even in March 2020, when COVID broke out, maybe April, May, June, the market was bad. But by October, November, the market was up to a new high, right? So people have not been hurt too badly. Now, when you see valuation, see what happens is market compounds over a long period of time. In fact, I have done a video on slow compounding also. So, I mean, to find out the impact of each of those changes which happens, like how a factory was set up, how the automobile was invented, the typewriter, the telegraph, right, all those things, the newspaper. Finding out the impact of each of this on the market seems to be impossible, and one discovery leads to another, right? So now when somebody works on a product, does not even think whether there will be electricity. It is assumed that there will be electricity. So many apps today assume that the net will always be on and it will always be reasonably affordable, right? So whether it is your Zomato, Ola, Uber, Swiggy, any of these things, they work on the principle that the electricity and your internet will always be available to you, so that wherever you are, you can use these apps, right? Google Maps, for example. So it is assumed that so the impact of each of this on valuation is almost impossible to find out. So like I said, we go read Shiller and say Shiller has done a fantastic job. The market is terribly overvalued. Now tell me what to buy. That is how we react. So the CAPE or the Shiller ratio in India is now at 30. Is India overvalued? Yes, India is overvalued. You attend fund manager talks and they come out with impossible to believe things like the current portfolio is at a PE of 38. Okay, in this industry the PE should be 28. The 28 is the normal historical value of the PE for this portfolio. Anything, name pharma, banking, infrastructure, anything. And then somebody asks, is it a good time to be buying? Then the fund manager or one of his lackeys say, Well, if you take a 7-8 year view on the portfolio, then it is not a bad view. 7-8 year view, honestly, I find it difficult to take a 7-8 year view on a fund manager, and I'm sure the fund manager does not know whether he is going to last in that company for 7-8 years, right? So which portfolio are you talking about? Are you talking about a fairly valued portfolio at a PE of 38 when the normal is 28? No, he is not talking. He is just not paid enough money to tell you the truth. He is being paid money to collect more AUM. So whether it is any specialized fund or it is a multi-cap fund, a typical multi-cap fund guy will come and tell you large cap is overvalued or small cap is undervalued or something like that. If valuations matter, and valuations do matter for you to get good returns in the long run, you can be sure that one day the market will fall. You have to be ready for the market fall, and the market falling, like I said, in the US, the PE should be 17 or the CAPE ratio should be 17. It is at 36. So if the market valuation were to catch up, the US market can fall 50%. Can you imagine what will happen to the Indian market if it falls 50%? Yes, exactly where you expect it to be, because today our CAPE ratio is also, I think, somewhere close to 30. Let us assume for a minute that 20 is the fair value at which Indian markets are or have always been. So will it fall 50%? No. Can it fall 1/3? Why not? Right. So 1/3 from 25,000 means an 8,000 point fall on the Nifty, and about 81,000 or 27,000 fall on the Sensex. Are we ready for it? Obviously not. We are not ready for it. Can it happen? Yes, it can happen, but whether it is the presidential election in the US now, or the Maharashtra election or the UP election, which will happen sometime soon, will ensure that the government will not let the market fall too much. But will the government come and stop a 10% fall or a 15% fall or a 20% fall? Answer is no. So valuations do matter, and at any point in time, when you look at the valuations, see whether that particular company is valued too much. And market can keep changing, right? So market can say Hindustan Unilever is terribly overpriced, I should not be in it. HDFC Bank looks very attractive at this price, or ICICI Bank looks expensive at this price, Axis looks cheaper, Kotak looks expensive. These things happen. The shares in your portfolio will have to be checked one on one to see whether that particular share is overvalued. Not long ago, the market cap of HDFC was greater than the market cap of all the PSU banks. Things have changed. There was a time when even Kotak Bank valuation was more than all the PSU banks put together, including State Bank of India. Or then they would come and say, oh, the market cap of Kotak is more than all the PSU banks except SBI. But today PSU banks have caught up, and Kotak and HDFC banks have not done so well. So there would be a point in time when the market cap of, say, Sun Pharma would be greater than all the automobile companies. Or there was a time when the DLF valuation was more than the Tata Group. Right, so at the extremes you get such stories when saying, oh, this is fantastic, that's great, it's a never-ending thing, Sun Pharma can never fall, or things like that, and then you realize that, oh, Pharma is overvalued, and the market cap of Sun Pharma is greater than the market cap of all the NBFCs or something like that. Then you keep wondering whether the NBFCs are undervalued or is Sun Pharma overvalued. But at the extremes you get these opportunities. So if you get some such opportunities, keep comparing, look at the Shiller ratio or the CAPE, and then you will know that the market is overvalued. Then stop fooling yourself into believing, no, market is overvalued, but my fund manager said the market will keep going up, right? I have made a video saying the market will keep going up. These are all things which you love to believe, but you can be made to look very stupid when market falls. So be ready for a fall. I am not saying it is going to fall tomorrow, nor am I saying it will fall in the sense that it could do a time correction of remaining here for next say 3 months, 6 months, 8 months and doing nothing. All these possibilities exist, and it is also possible that the Shiller ratio or the PE ratio or the CAPE ratio for India goes up from 30 to 35. That is also possible. So we don't know what can happen, but being ready for a rise, being ready for a fall, which means the money that you require in the next few months or next say 30 months, 25 months should not be in the equity markets. It should be in the debt instruments, and we have been getting fantastic returns in the debt instruments, right? I mean, my gilt fund has given me something like 13-14%. I'm not recommending because of the change in taxation. I'm saying stay away, but I'm saying those kind of returns you get in debt, I don't see any reason why you should be taking risk in equity. Look at it that way. Thank you.